how does it work? I mean, this Christian life. How does it really work? Am I just to grin and bear it and live out the Christian life? Am I simply to live the Christian life on sheer determination and willpower? The Apostle Paul wrote in Philippians 2, verses 12 through 13, work hard to show the results of your salvation, obeying God with deep reverence and fear. For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him. Now, to be sure, there is a part and a role that you and I are to play in our Christian life. Paul did write, work hard. However, the part we are to play is simple obedience. Paul writes we are to obey God with deep reverence and fear. That's our part. Our obedience simply shows the results of what God is doing and has done in us. However, we don't cause it or affect it. The results are not ours. So often in the Christian experience, we turn Christianity into a man-made solution to our problems and our lives. My wife and I have a saying in our home when we see God do something. We simply say, that's a God thing. The truth of the matter is the whole of the Christian experience is a God thing. Paul said anything spiritual that happens in my life is a God thing. Paul writes it like this, it is God working in you. We need to be reminded today that the Christian experience is a walk with and a work of God. God caused and effected our salvation. He provided it in the grace and mercy of Jesus on the cross. Now, beyond the initial experience of salvation, many of us think it now becomes something that we must do to live the Christian life. We think if it's to be, then it's up to me. Not so. Scripture says even my desire to obey God is an act of God. Paul wrote, it is God giving us the desire to serve Him. Even my most basic want to is dependent upon my connection to Him. I am to pray that God works in me to cause me to want to know Him and walk with Him even more than I do. It may seem simple and stupid, but an applicable illustration of that is my golf game. I can not play golf for a while and I'm fine. However, if I go out today and play around the golf, then I want to go out tomorrow and play too. The more I watch it, the more I want to play it. The more I'm around it, the more I want to play it. The same is true with God. If I stay away from Him and close myself off to Him, then I can become content to wallow in myself and to forget about Him. However, as I am near Him, the more He works in me, the more He causes me to desire to want Him even more. My quiet time with Him draws me into an even greater desire to get to know Him. It is not only God who affects the desire of my heart, but He also, Paul writes, gives me the power to do what pleases Him. You see, you and I cannot live the Christian life on our own. It is not a matter of willpower or grit or determination. It is Christ's power that enables us to live. I can't forgive others, love people, give grace, press on, endure, any of those things without Him. As I give myself over to Him, He gives Himself over to me, and He enables me and empowers me. To think that I can be a strong Christian and live the Christian life without a constant, perpetual supply of the presence of Jesus and His power in my life is a futile mistake in judgment. Our prayer needs to be that God would be so real to us that He would create in us a desire and an ability to serve Him most effectively. We need to pray that He would help us get to know Him and know the power of His resurrection. Here's a great thought to carry today. God gives me the want to and the can do. My prayer for today ought to be, Jesus, help me to desire You and to live for You. I know I cannot do it on my own. God bless you.